Rose Queen Day once again, June the 19th, 1993. While the weather this year looked very doubtful with plenty of grey clouds overhead. Nevertheless, everyone was prepared for the worst if necessary, with the Warrington Youth Band already in position. Last-minute preparations were carried out just before the procession left the schoolyard. Crown bearer Andrew Percival leads the Queen-elect Michelle Porter and her retinue over the crossroads by Rose Bank towards the Village Hall field. The procession makes its way around the arena to the applause of the very patient and supportive crowd. The ladies of the WI are still smiling as they go. The first Whitley Scout Troop is followed by the first Whitley Cub Scout Pack, who certainly appear to have grown in number this year. Retiring Queen Jill Bettles appears for the last time in her regalia. Jill now prepares to escort Queen-elect Michelle to the stage for the crowning ceremony. Mr. Littler delivers his speech for the last time as chairman of the Rose Queen Committee.
Thank you, Cyril. Most of this morning has been spent saying it's going to get better. and fortunately we've got some blue sky at the moment. I've been involved with the Rose Fete for over 20 years, and I'm always struck by the fact that it is a splendid village event. It brings together so many people in the village, both old and young. One of the things that we've always made a point of, I think, in this village, is to invite someone who has been involved in both the village life and the community to crown our Queen. And this year is no exception. Joyce Astle would be well known to the 20 and 30-somethings in the village and their parents from the days when she was teaching at Whitley Primary School. Joyce, we're delighted to welcome you and Mike here today, and I'd like to invite you to crown Michelle the Whitley Rose Queen for 1993.
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm almost in tears, actually. It's a great honour to be asked to crown the Rose Queen, and I know that any ex-pupils of mine from Whitley School would be more than delighted if I was asked to say only a few words. I can see some of them lurking in the wings from here, and I know that they've heard more than enough from me already. So, have a happy day, and a very busy year, tripping round to all the village events in your finery. So now, can we have the crown, and we'll crown the rose? I have great pleasure in crowning Rose Queen of Whitley, 1993.
The first presentation of sprays of flowers was by Elizabeth Howe as Mr. Blobby to Mrs. Astle. Pirate Robert Healy presents his spray to Mrs. Carey, the President's wife. Thunderbirds are no-go for Timothy Blackshaw as he presents his spray to Mrs. Littler, the chairman's wife. Theo Hunt, the footballer, to Mr. Carey. Postman Pat William Barron delivers his spray to Mr. Littler. The Rose Queen committee gift was presented by Mrs. Julie Reed. Now is the time for family and friends to take photographs and present gifts. Now here's a happy face. Maybe he's dreaming about food. Either that or he's falling asleep. children from Whitley Primary School performed first, as the storm clouds were threatening rain. Their stunning performance, as usual, was interpreted to music. This was Mrs. Whittaker's last year as headmistress before retiring. Children's fancy dress competition is always well supported and very popular with the spectators. The judges this year were Mrs. Astle and Mr. Carey. Sometimes it all gets a bit too tiring. Mickey and Minnie Mouse are giving their parents earache. Mickey is much happier now his ears are off. After much deliberation by the judges, the results were as follows. In third place, Mickey Mouse. In second place, Bo Peep. And in first place, the Mermaid. ladies of the WI once more entertained everyone with their outstanding display of costumes from countries representing United Europe: England, Wales, Ireland, Turkey, Scotland, Denmark, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal and Holland. Anyone for some Turkish delight? This year, as a novelty attraction, a fancy dress bicycle competition was introduced. Amazing as it seems, there was only one entry, which is rather strange as so many children have bicycles nowadays. The Queens and their retinues, led by Mr. Len Andrews and the Warrington Youth Band, leave the arena and retire for tea in the village hall. Michelle's train bearers are Joe Clayton and Robert Percival, Chief Attendant Jessica Schofield, Attendants Rebecca Clark and Victoria Hines. Here we see some of Whitley's well-known faces: Mrs. Carman, Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. Winstanley and Miss Burrows. Miss Rumney shares a joke with Mrs. Smither, whilst Mrs. Lester and Mrs. Straw sell draw tickets as fast as they can. Now this young man looks as if he's up to some mischief. Just what we thought. Yes, it really is a bike. I wonder if I could ride it. Whoops. Now that's not supposed to happen. Uh-oh, what have I done now? I think I'd better leave before anyone sees me. The highlight of the day for some children and adults was a visit of Jimbo the Clown and his magic show.
time. Everybody go, whoa! Everybody go, woo! Everybody go, blah! Everybody go! We don't think we like surprises! We don't think we want a surprise! Right, who's the best? Is it the girls or the boys? Is it the boys? Is it the girls? The boys win. Only because I'm a girl. Now look, wait till I see you sat down with your arm folded. Let me have a look. Right, now let's see who's got the biggest smile. I can't tell. Laugh your heads off. No good, can't tell. Let me see you sat down with your arm folded. Right, I'm looking for the one who can cry your head off. Right, okay, I know. I'll pick the one who can sing, oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, you forgot the water! Hey! It's not a balloon game because it gives me a chance to tell all the boys and girls never, ever, ever put balloons in your... But it's very dangerous, okay? So you have to pump it like that, and you have to... Not yet, cheating. And you have to pump it like that. And the one who has the biggest balloon by the time I say stop is the winner. I think the winner of the balloon game is a draw!
Mr. Straw tries his luck at golf. Ah well, you need a bit more practice, Clifford. If I swing my keys, perhaps I'll be noticed. As the storm clouds gather, people carry on regardless. James Stringer, Whitley's most famous motorcycle road racer, shows off his latest trophy to his fans, an arm sling. Mrs. Dickinson, Mr. and Mrs. Jewett and friend have a great job folding the draw tickets. The guides organised the treasure hunt this year. new attraction was the experience of getting stuck on the new spider's web. For £1, you too can hang upside down and view the world from a different angle. The traditional game of win a goldfish, ever popular and never without customers. Even at this tender age, the attraction is compelling. Scouts were certainly game for a laugh when they decided to run this rather wet game. To soak a friend or two is always a thing to do. This young man is having no luck at all on the coconut shy. It's fast, furious and fun. The assault course is the ultimate challenge for both boys and girls. men on the greasy pole are not particular who they knock off, as long as somebody bites the dust. This young man thinks he's dynamite, but look, nobody touched him. Look out, he's got rather a short fuse.
Just walking in the rain, getting soaking wet.
As the rain gets heavier, the crowds get lighter. It's time to call it a day, for some people at least.
Just walking in the rain, so alone and blue, all because my heart still remembers you. People come to.
The heavy cloudburst doesn't deter this happy group from having a laugh.
Shake their heads in sorrow, saying, who can that fool be? Just walking in the rain, thinking how we met, knowing things could change. Somehow I can't forget.
Just as we thought the day was washed away, out came the sun and back came the people to watch the netball match, the results of which was Vaughan's Gorillas won, and they look such nice boys, Sophie's team 3, and the day ended happily ever after.